Let me remember what it is, and I got it. The Who Would Win of the Week this week is Labubu versus Tickle Me Elmo. Two of the largest sensations that have ever swept the nation. Labubu's sweeping the world. I don't know what the international sweepage of Tickle Me Elmo was.
Swept. It for sure swept. My God, did it sweep.
TME swept.
So, first, I'll start with Labubu because I was very unfamiliar with Labubu until about 2 weeks ago. I was ignorant. I was Labubu ignorant.
There is a little bit of extra information that I would like to tell you before
I would love
we get too much into it.
So now I'm familiar with what
you.
the Labubus are.
Yeah.
But I don't know much about them outside of that. There's a rarity to them.
Yeah.
It's essentially. Can I say this before we really get into the Who Would Win of the Week?
Of course.
Labubu is just sports card collecting for chicks.
Yes, of course.
Okay, as long as we're on the same page.
No,
there.
here's the thing. I feel like whenever there's a big fad that comes out like Labubu and people go crazy for it, I think there's a portion of the population outside of the fans of that fad who are like, what are these people buying for? The people in the fad know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They know what they're getting.
Yeah.
They just have no qualms about it. They're not idiots.
Yeah.
Like they're not like but I'm telling you, like it's literally just like they like it so they get it.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
But the element of like not knowing which one you're getting if you buy a box and stuff like that, that's why I'm saying it's.
But that makes the most sense, right? Because it's a form of gambling.
That's why I'm saying
to
it's
your
like
sports card
cards.
point.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. So what I will say about Labubu, a couple of new pieces of information that have come to my mind, because again, this is a battle between
the Labubu and the Tickle Me Elmo.
And the Tickle Me Elmo, these things that really grasp the nation and the world.
Nation! Nation! What's that from?
Oh, fuck.
You know it.
I know
Andy Dick.
Yep, I was going to say Division III, football's finest.
Yep.
Another terrific flick. I would put it right up there with Book of Mormon.
Labubu's information.
Yes, so when we were in New York City, we went to a Pop Mart store, which is a company that makes and sells Labubu. The cashier told us Labubus, they're not allowed, not that they are available, but they are not allowed, even when they get restocked, to sell them in stores anymore because people go too crazy for them.
So they only sell them online?
Only sell them online. Also, this has just crossed my desk today. In China, there were some banks that were doing this promotion where if you, for any customers who deposited 50 grand or over into their accounts like 3 months in a row, received a free Labubu. And the government came in and said, you got to stop that. That's illegal. So this is the kind of demand we're talking about as far as Labubu go.
Why is that illegal?
Because people were
are putting $50,000 in their account.
Fucking enough, brother. Enough. The kind of people who go crazy for the Labubus.
Buying a Labubu.
Because
I guess you still have the
scarcity,
money.
The blah blah blah.
And I guess you still have the money if you put it in a bank.
It's a free Labubu. Yeah. It's a free Labubu.
You get a free Labubu.
And too many people were going crazy for it. They had to put an end to that. This is and this is where we are at with these fads like Labubu. This is where they've come. Tickle Me Elmo was in a lot of ways the original of this.
I said this when we talked earlier. People were getting stabbed over the Tickle Me Elmo.
People were getting stabbed.
That's
a lot of trampling.
That's back when Black Friday was actually Black Friday.
That's right.
Now it's Memorial Day 2.0. Well, that's a bad example because Memorial Day that makes me feel insensitive to the troops. It's like
piss your pants right now to make amends.
Labor Day.
Sure.
What's Labor Day in honor of?
I don't know.
Let me make sure it's not a good cause
Buffalo
before I stand
Bill
on that take.
Probably just labor, I think. Good men and women laboring in the factories, making plastic for our airplanes.
To recognize the American labor movement, I'm good with calling it Labor Day. Yeah, Black Friday, it's like a Labor Day sale.
Sure.
20%, 10%.
It's like a President's Day.
I respect our presidents.
Well, sure, but President's Day specifically for two presidents, Lincoln and Washington.
Yeah. No. It's for the presidents.
No, it's because Washington and Lincoln's birthdays are both in February, so they just make President's Day to honor both of them instead of flipping things around, doing two holidays. They combine it. President's Day. We have not talked at all about who would win this fight.
So while the federal holiday President's Day is officially named Washington's birthday, President's Day is widely recognized as a day to honor all U.S. presidents.
All right. Well, there you go. Sock it to me. Sock it to me. I apologize.
You're 0-2 today.
Yeah. It's going to get a lot worse than that.
Here we go. Labubus versus Tickle Me Elmo.
Yeah. Labubus are devious.
You only gave me 2 Labubu facts. You said you had 3.
No, I don't know if I did. I don't recall that, counselor. Not to my recollection. Now, Labubus, they're mischievous. They're devious. They're getting things done. There's a lot of them. They know how to work as a team. Even without that, I think when a Labubu's on its own, there's one Labubu on its own, it's going to be ready to pounce. Tickle Me Elmo obviously has a size advantage, but the Labubu is similar to like a gremlin-esque thing, right? It's climbing into the Tickle Me Elmo. The Tickle Me Elmo is not going to be able to reach it. Oh, where is this thing? Now, what the Tickle Me Elmo does have going for it, amongst other things, is its robotic internal skeleton that can fucking shake.
I've thought about this quite a bit because originally, as you know, I said this to you when we were coming up with this idea, but the Tickle Me Elmo is much larger than a Labubu.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Which is true. And I didn't even actually think about this, but I agree. Is the Labubu just plush? Mm-hmm. It's not firm, right?
The face
is like hard plastic,
yes,
but it's on top of plush.
Yes, but the
rest of it is plush.
The hands and feet are plush.
Yeah.
But the body is plush. The ears are plush.
Yeah. So everything's plush but the face. I don't know why you
and the hands and feet.
No, you just said the hands and feet are plush.
Oh, I meant plastic. I'm sorry.
Okay. See, this changes things. I don't know. Because the exoskeleton...
It's an in-skeleton. I wanted to say exoskeleton too, but it's on the inside, so it's just a robotic skeleton.
The skeleton of a Tickle Me Elmo being metal of some sort is a huge advantage to the Tickle Me Elmo.
I still think it's mostly plastic.
I think there's some metal in there.
I don't think so. Maybe the OG. I don't.
Anyway, the problem that the Tickle Me Elmo is going to have, knowing what you said about how mischievous, and here's the okay, I'm gonna start, and I don't know this for certain either, but the problem Tickle Me Elmo is going to have is all you have to do is tickle it, like it's ticklish. The Tickle Me Elmo, yeah, there's some metal in there.
So this is a raw Tickle Me Elmo.
That's metal. Those arms, metal. Body plastic.
Look at the
that's
tickle
metal.
pad. That's scary.
So that's the problem that the Tickle Me Elmo is going to run into is that if you tickle it, it's ticklish. So if I'm the Labubu, I'm instant tickle.
Yeah.
Which I think the Labubu is small enough to, he's probably pretty nimble. So I think he's getting in there and he's getting a tickle in. And then you know how like toys like that used to have like the Velcro piece on the back so that if anything did go wrong or need battery, that you could replace it. I would assume Tickle Me Elmo has a Velcro piece on the back.
Oh, yeah.
And the second he starts being tickled and can't stop, instantly the tickle effect, it lingers for a little bit. Like, even after you've been tickled. That's when the Labubu slips in the back and just rips his shit to shreds.
Oh, yeah.
Like full-blown Ant-Man style.
And if you've seen a Labubu's hands or feet, they're perfect for grabbing wires out of Tickle Me Elmos.
Cords. All those cords are getting yanked.
You're right.
He's yanking cords. He's ripping off the tickle plate, which is then going to tickle. That's the thing. Like, if you get tickled in a somewhat ticklish spot, like it's a tickle. That's what happens when you get almost fur on his stomach. If you were to tickle that middle part, that's like a hard, like armpit tickle, like ready for violence. But the problem is that the Labubu is going to be inside Elmo, and so if he can't control himself at all, he's going to start punching himself, and the Labubu is going to destroy Tickle Me Elmo.
Tickle Me Elmo's going to panic. That's it. Tickle Me Elmo is a panicker. Tickle Me Elmo cannot handle its cool under a stressful situation. I don't think Labubus have that issue. I think Labubus thrive in chaos, right? That's the sense that I get from the Labubu. And also, you're totally right. The massive disadvantage of Tickle Me Elmo is it has its primary function makes it lose control over its own body. So regardless of how flailing that movements are going to become, the Tickle Me Elmo is still not in control, and that's
Yeah.
a huge advantage to
Labubu.
Labubu. Anybody trying to
Because if
beat
there's
up
one
a
thing you
Tickle
know
Me
about
Elmo.
Labubus are always in control.
Labubus are always in control. They're spooky.
I'm taking the Labubu.
I'm taking Labubu as well. All right, it's the hottest new thing, and it's time
It's
to
beating
dethrone
the
the
fuck
king.
out of Tickle Me Elmo. Although I'm not changing my answer, but keep in mind again, Tickle Me Elmo did make it through peak Black Friday.
True,
Tickle
but
Me
I
Elmo
think
kind of kicked off the Black Friday violence. I feel like
absolutely. I would say that's the go-to reference when we're talking about Black Friday violence.
Tickle Me
is
Elmo.
Tickle Me Elmo. But we learned from Tickle Me Elmo. If it hadn't been for Tickle Me Elmo, the Labubu would be the exact same situation.
I'm all right. So we're locked in. Clean sweep for the Labubu versus Tickle Me Elmo. Vote on that on Friday on Instagram. Who would win of the week?